Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King, and today I'm going to be giving you part 8 of What If Naruto Was Treated Like Gaara. Remember to give this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was a genius prodigy with a lost bloodline over on Anime King, and enjoy that guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and click that subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family, and thank you for all of your help and support. And also guys, remember to stay tuned for a brand new episode coming over in Making 3, yes that's correct. If you're new, I indeed have 3 channels, and Making 2 and Making 3, which I post what if I never sing a day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you, so yeah. Without further ado, with this to begin this new episode start, the intro. So, the last part that we left off. Naruto was given a toad summoning contract as he summoned Gamabunta. Naruto flat out challenged Gamabunta, as the two of them start to fight. As Naruto gave him a nasty gash right across his face, Gamabunta retaliated by backhanding Naruto out of the air with such force. Naruto's body decimated the land, as he was knocked out for a couple of days. When he woke up, Jiraiya was there as Naruto got back to his feet. Even though he was sore, he was ready to get back into it. As Jiraiya told him to fight him for real, as he wanted to see how far Naruto had progressed. So with that, the both of them start to fight for real. As Jiraiya, well, he was impressed by Naruto's skill, but he had a few notes here and there. So with that, Naruto made his way towards the hospital to meet with Hinata, as they spoke for a while. The both of them start leaning for a kiss, but before they could, Gaara interrupted, as Naruto was gonna kill him right there and then until Jiraiya arrived and stopped them, as he told him to save for the exam. So with that, the exams finally came around, as it was finally time for them to take part. The first match was Sasuke versus Neji, as Sasuke didn't stand a chance. In the end, he started to go crazy with the curse mark, but the Chuunin jumped down there. Sasuke thought with the power he could beat them, but he was nothing compared to them. Despite his curse mark, they were still Jounins, and they were a league stronger than him right now, as that just pissed him off even more. The next match was Shin as Kankuro decided to give up. Choji then faced off against Temari, as Choji was rather angry when she called him fat. He got angry when his friends called him that, but they were his friends. But this woman, this unknown ninja, was calling him fat, as it pissed him off. He gave it everything that he got, but in the end Temari was still able to use her fan, but it wasn't easy for her, as she was beaten rather badly. But still, she won in the end though. Kankuro didn't like that because she got wounded during the exam, so they will just have to buy some more time, at least he hoped, until the main match arrived with Naruto faced off against Gaara. Gaara was bloodthirsty the moment Naruto stepped in the ring. Naruto did not challenge the Kyuubi chakra, he just used his own, as he showed Gaara that even his own chakra he was able to overpower him. That left a sad, bitter taste in Gaara's mouth, as he was getting more and more pissed off, as he started to go more psychotic until Naruto drew his blood. He screamed out in rage and anger. It was at that moment Orochimaru decided to call the invasion, as feathers started to fall. Neji decided to pursue Kankuro and Temari, as he stopped the both of them in the contestant booth, as Lee and Tenten joined him. But despite the carnage, chaos, and destruction happening around, the two massive demonic beasts stood there in the center of the arena, ready to throw everything aside and just throw down. As Naruto had made a promise, he was gonna remove Gaara's head from his shoulders, and nothing would stop him from doing that. So yeah guys, with basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the place, check it out for yourself. So, what do you say we begin this new episode? Let's get right into it guys. Uzumaki, quit holding back and show me your true form, said Gaara. As he caught Naruto's punch, he pulled Naruto forward as he attempted to drive his claw fist into Naruto's chest, but Naruto Chakra Tail blocked it. Why would I use that when I can beat someone as weak as you without it? As he grabbed Gaara's arm that was holding his fist, and in a show of strength, he threw Gaara into a wall. The wall broke. Gaara pulled himself out as he laughed. Are you sure? Your attacks don't cause me any damage. How do you plan on beating me, Gaara asked. I'm going to rip that sand off you, grain by grain. As Naruto flashed through hand signs, wind style, vacuum serial wave, as he released multiple blades of wind all over the place by rapidly moving his hands. Gaara made no motion to move or block. When the wind blades hit, sand flew everywhere. Naruto looked at the cloud waiting for it to clear. As Gaara's voice rang out, my turn, wind style, sandstorm devastation. As sand-filled gusts of wind shot out of the cloud, flying directly towards Naruto. Before the sand could make attack though, multiple chakra tails wrapped around Naruto. The moment the attack ceased, the tails swayed behind him lazily. Uzumaki, why do you continue to hold back? Neither one of us used our full strength, and I'm starting to get bored. As a foot slammed into Gaara's chest. Gaara didn't even move an inch as he looked up to see Kiba with his foot planted in his chest. Gaara grabbed his ankle and threw him away, right towards Naruto. Naruto moved out of the way as Kiba slammed into one of the trees. Seconds later, Shino and Sakura landed. As Sakura moved towards her teammate's aid, Naruto turned. What is it? He said. The sand and the sound has invaded. Kunai ordered us to aid you, said Shino as he pointed toward the stands. Naruto glanced up to see multiple shinobis battling in the stands. He shrugged and turned back to Gaara. I don't need help. Get back up to the stands. Idiots. You and that freak have been at a standstill since you two started a fight. With us here to help you overpower him, we could quickly do that and go back up to help the others, said Kiba. Kiba is right, Naruto Baka, Sakura said. Just then a hand of sand grabbed Sakura and slammed her in the wall. The sand kept her pinned as the arm, retracting back to Gaara. I dislike being ignored. Kiba growled and rushed forward as Shino held him back. Rushing in blindly would only result in you getting killed, said Shino calmly. Naruto is right, he does need our help to defeat Gaara. We will only get in his way. You can't be serious, Kiba said. Before Shino could respond, Kiba pushed him to the side, jumping to the opposite side as the sand lashed out violently. You pests should listen to Uzumaki. Go help your fellow shinobi. Don't worry. Once I'm done with him, I'll come to kill the rest of you. A chakra arm shot from behind Gaara, bursting from the ground as it grabbed him. Ignore me will get you killed, said Naruto as one of his arms was pumping Kyuubi chakra down into the ground. Naruto smirked. If memory served correctly, you seem to enjoy slamming people in the walls. Let me show you how it feels. He used the chakra arm to slam Gaara all over the place. After a few cycles, Naruto saw the sand falling off him with each slam. He continued to beat Gaara over and over and over and over until Gaara cried out in pain. There it is, said Naruto as he slammed Gaara once again. This time he kept him pinned and walked straight over towards him. Part of his face was visible, but the sand was reforming quickly. Naruto pulled his free fist back. As the Kyuubi chakra enveloped his arm, Naruto thrust his fist forward. Gaara's body was blown through the arena as he smashed through several buildings on the other side. Gaara slowly pulled himself out of the building as he pushed aside debris. As he saw Naruto standing right at the hole looking at him. Fine, if you won't bring out your demon, I'll force you to say Gaara. As he released the sand, it exploded upwards. Blue markings appeared on the skin of the sand as the thing turned into the massive Tanuki. The Shikaku was larger than the Hokage's tower. It was almost eye level with a monument. As Naruto looked up before he let out a low whistle. Hey Shino, he said. The Abermi appeared at his side. How do you propose we eliminate it? Said Shino. Before Naruto could say anything, a massive fist came down, decimating the ground where they stood. As Naruto and Shino were in mid-air or they jump away, the Shikaku swinged his hands, destroying the building that they almost landed on. Well, I needed to go and find my brother Yamato. and I'll see what I can do with this overgrown litter box until he arrives. Shino spread out his insects to find Yamato as he moved back. Naruto bit his finger and flashed through hand signs. "Summoning jutsu," he said. There was a massive poof. As Naruto balanced himself as he stood on top of Gamabunta's head, the boss Toad was standing eye level with Shikaku. As Naruto saw Gaara, the waist going down was submerged in the sand. "Kid, why have you summoned me?" asked Bunta. "That," said Naruto. "Why should I? I fought a demon before, and I'm not sure I want to fight another one this lifetime," said Bunta. "So you still refuse to show me your inner demon? You hide behind some oversized frog instead of fighting me yourself." "Hold on, kid," said Gamabunta as he pulled out his Tonto and moved. He was fast. He drove the Tonto in Shikaku's arm and slice. But the Shikaku slammed into him as the sword fell, crushing buildings as it landed on them. "Kid, do you have a plan?" Gamabunta asked as he turned to face the sand demon. Before Naruto could reply, a massive poof at the village walls, as they were large snakes. A moment later there was another poof, as a toad in armor appeared and started to battle the snakes. "It's a party," said Naruto. "Hey, can you get me close?" "Not a problem," said Gamabunta. "Uzumaki!" Gaara screamed. "If you won't fight me with your demon, then I'll just have my demon destroy you." Ninja art. Feigning sleep jutsu. His body slumped forward, as Shikaku's eyes seemed to focus. "Finally," he said. "I am free!" he yelled to the heavens. "Getting you close might be a bit harder now," said Gamabunta, as he looked towards the released Shikaku. Shikaku then inhaled without warning. He then slammed his fist in his stomach. Wind style ear drilling bullet! A compressed ball of air shot towards Gamabunta. Gamabunta leaped up in the air to avoid the ball of wind. Right as Gamabunta reached the apex of his jump, as Shikaku released more air bullets, he had no choice but to retaliate. Water style, liquid bullets. The two attacks met and created a shower of rain. To Gamabunta's surprise though, another air bullet shot right through, as the toad was blasted out of the air. He crashed on the ground. Luckily he had brought his arms up, but he had a lot of cuts on them. "Kid, we gotta weak out the medium. I can't take too much more of those attacks." "Get me close," said Naruto. Gamabunta launched forward as he held on Shikaku, but Shikaku shoved him back before Naruto could get on. "Hold on a bit longer," said Naruto. "Kid, I'm a toad. What am I supposed to hold on with?" "We need to do a combined transformation. I'll add the chakra, you just need to do the seals and pick the form," said Gamabunta. Naruto smirked as he knew the exact form that he wanted to use. "Transform!" They were enveloped in a cloud of smoke. Shikaku's eyes widened as the nine tails shot out of the smoke. Its tails whipping around destroying Konoha. Before he could do anything, nine tails bit into his shoulder. "Now!" Gamabunta's voice called out, as the Kyuubi form was poofed into a massive smoke, as something shot out of the blur and landed on Shikaku's forehead. As Naruto leaped, but a dome of sand enveloped Gaara's body, protecting him. The Kyuubi tail started to lash out, but there was just too much sand. Seeing that Naruto was directly on top of his head, the sand grabbed Naruto's feet and started to pull him down and down as he thrashed around until he was pulled into the sand. "Damn it," said Gamabunta. "The idiot went and got himself killed, and I'm almost out of chakra." As the toad sounded worried, as Naruto was pulled directly into the sand. But that is when the place was enveloped by a massive killer intent. Shikaku started to hold his head and scream, as two massive red claws exploded out of his skull. The claws buried themselves into his head and ripped it apart. His head was literally burst apart, torn right clean down. Gaara started to fall, his eyes widening in mid-air. What? As something smashed into his body, the both of them slamming into the ground. Gaara looked over as he saw Naruto descend, had compressed Naruto inside, as one of his eyes were completely destroyed. As you could see the bones sticking out of his body, blood was all over him. "I enjoyed this battle, Uzumaki, but now you have to die," said Gaara as he raised his hand. Sand engulfed Naruto. "Sand coffin," said Gaara. Gaara could not tighten his fist. The explosion of chakra launched him away from Naruto. Gaara tried to get up, but a hand gripped his throat. He looked up towards Naruto's murderous white eyes. You like to play demon, huh? Let me show you a true demon. Naruto then threw Gaara right into a building. The whole thing collapsed on him as Naruto arrived. He ripped apart everything before he pulled Gaara out of it, who was barely conscious. No sleep for you and me. Wake up! The scream snapped Gaara's eyes open as he whimpered in fear. Naruto drove his fist into his stomach. Gaara doubled over as Naruto slammed his knee in his face, throwing his head back. As Naruto released a barrage of strikes so fast, Gaara could not even predict or move as he was assaulted. Hit after hit, kick after kick. To finish off, Naruto delivered a powerful roundhouse kick that sent the Jinchuriki sailing. As Naruto appeared above and drove his fist into Gaara's stomach, breaking the ground underneath him. As Naruto rushed over and gripped him right under the throat and threw him, Gaara broke through the village wall. Gaara fell to a heap, rubble and dust all over him on the other side of the wall. We're not done yet, said Naruto. Gaara could only watch in fear as Naruto closed in on him. A predator coming after its prey. It was then that Naruto stopped as he turned his head. He looked off into the opposite direction as he just kept on looking. Gaara was still there, petrified in fear. As Naruto grit his teeth in rage. It looks like you get to survive another day. He then shot off at immense speed. It was then that Conqueror and Temari finally arrived, both of them not looking so good, as they saw their brother in a beaten, destroyed state. They had to pick him up and leave with him immediately. While that was going on, two men were fleeing away from Konoha, carrying someone rather important. Ishi, how did we get picked for this trap? A bald man with a bandana on his head asked. The two of them were raised north from Konoha, the other one had long hair. Hinata was draped over his shoulder. Momokyuu, you should be honored. Once we return this Hyuga to Kumo, we will be rewarded with a lot of money, Ishi said as both of them continued towards Kumo. Suddenly, they felt a powerful and evil chakra explode back in Konoha. Hurry, we have to get out of here, as they continued to move. Fine then, you carry her, Momokyuu said as he dropped Hinata to the ground rather roughly. Hey, be careful, she needs to be in one piece, you know. Besides, why would you mess up a little thing like this? She's so cute. Hey, why don't we have a bit of fun with her? Momokyuu asked. Now we're still too close. Come on, just for a second, Momokyuu said. Fine. But I go first, Ishi said, as he looked towards the bound Hinata. She released a pulse of chakra, but it only blew him back a bit. Aw, so cute. Trying to fight back, Ishi said. It was then that they felt something behind them. The feeling was like death itself gripping their souls. As they turned, I'm going to enjoy ripping you two apart. The killer intent was so much they couldn't even see the person or what the hell was targeting them. The place felt hot and heavy, as all the killer intent was directed towards them alone. Momokyuu then let out a shriek of pain. Ishi turned as he saw where his friend's stomach once was. There was just a gaping hole. His stomach was just gone. He collapsed to the ground, blood pouring out of his wound. Show yourself, you coward, Ishi said as he spun around, as he was trembling in fear. I'm right here. Ishi turned as Naruto stood there. As his feet was burned in the ground that he stood on, his tail swayed protectively around Hinata. What are you? Ishi said. There is no need to answer the question of the dead, said Naruto. Before Ishi could even react, Naruto's hand was directly through his skull. As Naruto pulled out his hand, the blood instantly vaporizing. He then turned to Hinata. He held the bindings that it burned off. Are you alright? He said. Thank you, she said. She leaped towards him and hugged him, as tears were in her eyes. As Naruto hugged her back, he did not even realize that the Kyuubi chakra, it was not hurting her. He picked her up bridal style. Let's head back, he said, as they made their way. When they finally returned back to the village, the war was over. His chakra cloak had faded a few hours ago. All of his wounds had gotten healed. The war was done though. Pathetic war, he said. A kunai was then thrown towards him as he dodged it. Demon, you destroyed our homes, and we want you out. A voice shouted from the crowd of villagers that was now in front of him. I would like to see any of you try, said Naruto. As he created a clone, he was about to hand the clone Hinata. But a kunai pierced the clone head and killed it as he poofed away. Don't bother, kid. No one is dying now. As Naruto glanced up towards the building to see Anko, Kakashi, Jiraiya, Guy, Asuma, Yamato. You all realize that if it wasn't for Naruto here, the Ichibai would have reduced Konoha to rubble, right? Said Jiraiya. Be lucky that it was only the area near the stadium that was destroyed. But if any of you have any complaints, feel free to take it up with us, said Kakashi. The civilian that threw the kunai felt something grip him by the throat as Yamato appeared behind him, the same kunai at his throat. You should be careful where you toss these. Someone could get hurt, he whispered, in a menacing way. The man swallowed, rather softly, as he did not move an inch. Yamato released him and stepped back, as the villagers quickly fled the area. Within a few moments the crowd dispersed as Jiraiya, Kurenai, Yamato and Anko landed in front of Naruto. The others went off. I didn't need any of you stopping them, said Naruto. We know, but we just finished a war, with minimum fatalities. And you killed a large group of civilians. Would have killed the statistic, said Anko. Besides, you just destroyed the Sand Demon and killed 2 Kumo Jonin. You deserve a break, said Yamato. Speaking of which, where were you when I was fighting Shikaku? Why didn't you show up, said Naruto. Well, I did, but I saw that you had things under control, so I went to help our fellow comrades around the village. As Naruto rolled his eyes, Hinata then cried out, oh my god, Shikamaru and Ino, she said. Yamato calmed her down. I found them and took them to hospital. They should be fine. Nothing fatal. As Hinata calmed down. As Jiraiya spoke next. Alright, Naruto. I'm not gonna tiptoe around it. The council is pissed. While Chuunin prevented Gaara from destroying most of the village, you were technically the one who directly knocked him in the village in the first place. They're moving for your banishment. So what is this, said Naruto? Your final goodbyes? The Jonins looked at him. He was rather uncaring about it all. He felt Hinata tighten her grip on him. No. Sarutobi Sensei died. Fight no tomorrow, so we got no Hokage. No actions against a ninja can be ruled. That is why I have to tell you this quickly. You and I are going on a mission to retrieve my ex-teammate, Tsunade Senju. Why do I need to go, said Naruto. Well, 2 reasons why you're gone. Maybe the council will drop the motive to banish you. And secondly, I have a few more things I want to teach you. Honestly, said Naruto, I don't think it will work. How do you figure, Uncle asked. Well, the council won't cool off. They will only forget it if we're gone long enough. The moment we're back, they will apply the motion once again. As for training me, I don't particularly like that you want me to know my dad's techniques and moves. Squirt. Your emotion for your father aside, you have to realize that he was a powerful ninja with very deadly and powerful jutsu in his arsenals, said Yamato, as Naruto rolled his eyes. Plus, said Kurenai, Tsunade-sama is one of the most powerful medical ninja in the world. She could perhaps heal Hinata and continue her career as a shinobi. Kurenai smiled when she saw that got to him. Alright, he said. Let's go. Time skip. Where is this old broad anyway, said Naruto as him and Jiraiya were walking down a dusty road. Jiraiya raised his eyebrow, you know, if Tsunade ever heard you call her that, she would put you 6 feet under. As Naruto scoffed. Let me worry about locating Tsunade. You have other things to worry about, said Jiraiya. Like what, said Naruto. Jiraiya pulled out a scroll from his pocket and opened it. Pushing chakra into it, a water balloon popped out. This jutsu right here is a jutsu I'm gonna teach you. It's called the Rasengan. It was your father. Primary jutsu, said Jiraiya. Jiraiya raised his hand as a blue ball, around the size of a grapefruit, formed. He walked towards a tree and pressed the ball inside the tree, as a perfectly circular hole was planted in the tree. I already know a jutsu like that, said Naruto. Wind style. Wind ball, he said, as he created a translucent ball of wind, around the same size as Jiraiya's. As Naruto pressed his ball against the tree, the section that the ball touched was destroyed. It seems my jutsu is stronger, said Naruto. Jiraiya smirked. You care to test that theory, he said. As Naruto shrugged. Let's create a clone, said Jiraiya. As both of them created a clone, Naruto clone created a wind ball, as Jiraiya clone created a Rasengan. As they rushed forward, Naruto watched his Rasengan destroy the wind ball. Like it was nothing, then it destroyed his clone. As he was surprised by that. Kid, the Rasengan is one of the most powerful, close-range jutsu that is ever formed. Alright, what's with the water balloon, said Naruto. Glad you asked, said Jiraiya as he tossed the balloon towards Naruto as Naruto called it. The purpose of the test is to pop the balloon. Once you learn how to pop. Jiraiya froze as he turned, hearing that popping sound. As he saw the balloon pop in pieces, water over Naruto's feet. Jiraiya pulled out another water balloon as he threw it. Do that again, he said. The balloon flattened in Naruto's palm before it popped. Jiraiya raised an eyebrow. Do what you just did but without the balloon, he said. As Naruto created a disc of chakra in his hand. Throw it, said Jiraiya. As Naruto threw it, but it faded away before it even reached 2 feet. Well, it seems like you're on your way to making a new jutsu. You should think of ways for it to work while working on the Rasengan. As he tossed his scroll into the water balloons as Naruto caught it. Naruto created 13 clones. He gave 11 of them water balloons, while the other 2 took out to the forest. Where are those 2 going? They're picking up a lost and forgotten yet perfectly usable toy for me, said Naruto. Alright, half of you. Work on figuring this thing out with their left hand, while me and the others work on it with the right. So kid, said Jiraiya, what are you and your caravan of clones supposed to be? Because 1 old man and 12 children draw a lot of attention. If we encounter someone, you are our foster father, taking us into town to get some groceries. Names don't really matter, said Naruto. Jiraiya shrugged as they continued to walk. A smirk then came across Jiraiya's face. So kid, about your girlfriend. Pervert. I suggest that you thread lightly, said Naruto. What? I was just gonna say that you're one lucky kid. That Hyuga princess is quite the looker, said Jiraiya. In fact, in a few years, she might be the perfect leading lady for my book. Jiraiya started to chuckle, until a hand of chakra clamped around him, as Naruto picked him up and launched him towards the next city. Time skip. What information do you have on Tsunade? Jiraiya asked in a low murmur. The gambler sitting across from him smirked. Quite a bit, but let us put it in fate hands. If you win, I'll tell you everything. And loosen up the debt that she owe me. But if I win, you pay me all that she owe me. He slipped Jiraiya a paper. Jiraiya's eyes went wide at the amount of debt that Tsunade owed. But he went along with it. Deal, he said. Jiraiya shook the dice in his hand as he tossed them on the table. One of them stopped on 3 as the other one was spinning. Popping noise could be heard as everyone turned as Naruto had popped the last rubber ball. As Naruto shook his hand, a piece of rubber fell off. Looks like I win, said Jiraiya. The man turned his head back. The man scowled as the dice that fell on 7. Fine. The legendary stalker is on her way to Tanzuka. She left here a few days ago after she lost a 250,000 Ryu over here. Thanks, said Jiraiya. Hey Naruto, come on. We're leaving. As a beautiful woman walked by him and gave him those flirty eyes. Wait. Maybe not just yet, said Jiraiya. Why don't you go wait at the hotel? I'll call you when I'm ready, said Jiraiya as he made his way off. Stupid pervert, said Naruto, as he made his way back to the hotel and started to pack. It was then that there was a knock. Naruto raised the eyebrow as he created a clone. The clone opened the door, as it was destroyed by a large sword. Naruto-kun, we need you to come with us. As Naruto tilted his head to see 2 men there. Judging from the Sharingan, Itachi Uchiha, he said, as he stepped out in the hall, the both of them letting him pass. Naruto glanced around before he flashed away. As he appeared on the roof, the 2 men appeared in front of him rather quickly. There is no point in running. You cannot escape, Itachi said. Naruto watched as someone climb onto the roof rather quickly. It's been a long while, Sasuke-kun, Itachi said, without even turning his back. Hey Itachi, that kid, he looks just like you. Brother! I done exactly what you said. I lived my life hating you. I've strived to kill you. Now today you will die and pay for the crimes that you committed against our clan. Lightning started crackling around his hand as Itachi sighed. Foolish little brother, you're still not strong enough. Sasuke tore the ground open as he ran with his Shidori, as he drive it through Itachi's chest. That's it, Itachi, you let your skill slip, said Sasuke, as he forcefully ripped his arm out. But Itachi burst into a flock of throws. Sasuke looked around as the world morphed, to show that he didn't even move a step, the Shidori in his hand fading away. Pathetic, said Naruto. Just as Sasuke took a step forward, Itachi appeared in front of him, and kneed him right in the stomach. Sasuke doubled over as Itachi gripped him by the throat and lift him up to eye level. Your hate is not strong enough. Let me remind you why you need to despise me. Sasuke screamed as Itachi's eye changed into Mangekyo before he collapsed on the ground and passed clean out. It was then that Naruto released a massive amount of killer intent as it spread all over the area. Itachi turned as he felt it. Kisame, we're leaving. What? We just got here and the kid is right here. Jiraiya landed right on the roof. Kisame frowned as they jumped back as they fled into the forest nearby. Jiraiya was about to charge after them when Naruto stopped him. You can't take those two on by yourself, and I don't pose a big enough threat in that battle. He then gestured towards Sasuke. Wasn't he supposed to be in the prisoner ward in the hospital? Naruto asked. Jiraiya looked towards Sasuke. Yeah, I placed a stronger seal over his curse mark. Technically, the boy's on suspension for attacking multiple officers ahead of him. But knowing the civilian council, he will probably be on active duty before he even found out that he was on suspension. As Naruto rolled his eyes, Two Tail came from his back and blocked a kick from a green blur. With his motion complete to stop, Guy jumped back and flipped as he landed, dropping into a fighting stance. As he then saw, Jiraiya-sama. Where did Uchiha and his partner go? Guy asked. They're gone, Guy, but I need you to get Sasuke back to the Konoha hospital. Guy nodded as he picked up Sasuke as he headed back to Konoha. Hey, what happened to the lady that you're with? Said Naruto. Huh? Said Jiraiya. Well, I think we should get a move on, he said, without answering the question. So with that, they move on back to the road. What is the last step to the Rasengan? He asks. Well, the first step is spin, the second is power. Now the final step is control, said Jiraiya, as he gave Naruto another scroll. Inside was another balloon. When you can maintain the Rasengan for over 5 minutes, you have mastered the technique, said Jiraiya. How much more longer before we find Tsunade? Said Naruto as a balloon in his hand popped. He grumbled to himself as he pulled another one out. If my source was not lying then, we're probably going to find her in the next city. Naruto, said Jiraiya. As Naruto knew what he was about to say, said it. I could care less for what they're planning back there. If they banish me, or keep me out of that hellhole, I won't miss it. They came to a stop as they saw smoke. As Jiraiya glanced over to where the castle stood. Well, it looked like we're late for the party. Think you can keep up, Brat? Jiraiya asked. I'm already halfway there, said Naruto, as he poofed away. Kids, said Jiraiya as he took off. When he found Naruto, he was in a stare down with two women who appeared to be in their 20s. The younger brunette was holding senbons in her hand, while cradling a small pig. A slightly older blonde behind her arms, crossed under her assets. Two of his chocolate tails were swinging behind him as he stood there, his arms crossed. Brat, I lose sight of you for 5 minutes, and you pick a fight with the two people that we're looking for, said Jiraiya. Tsunade, Shizune. It's been a while, said Jiraiya. Jiraiya, what the hell do you want? And why are you and this brat looking for me, said Tsunade, as Shizune put the senbons away. Why don't we talk over some drinks? A glint appeared in Tsunade's eyes hearing that. Time skip. Tsunade took a sip from her cup. So why are you and this brat looking for me? What? Can't a man visit his old friend with his apprentice? Asked Jiraiya. Today is just full of a lot of reunions, said Tsunade. Jiraiya's face darkened hearing that. Before we return back to calm, Tsunade, it's time to come back. The council has declared that you will be the next Hokage. Like hell, she said. Taking that job is nothing but a full job. Only idiots want it. As Naruto scoffed, Tsunade turned towards him. You got something to say, Brat? She asked. No, I just find rather amusing as a kettle. It's calling the pot black. What are you trying to say? Said Tsunade. Her eyes focused dangerously on him. Personally, I don't care for the title Hokage or certain people who have been given said title. Jiraiya flinched as he knew exactly who that jab was pointed towards. And he didn't like the blonde hatred for his own father. But it seems odd to me that a foolish old woman, wallowing in her own misery, while trying to hide behind a genjutsu and alcohol, think that she has the right to pass her own judgment. Now whether you take the title of Hokage or not, I don't really care about that, but you shall be returning back to Konoha. Even if I have to pull you by those pretty little ponytails of yours. Tsunade, he just wants you to heal his girlfriend. Don't do anything irrational, said Jiraiya, trying to calm her down. Tsunade smashed her fist in the table, completely destroying it. I think it's time someone put this brat in his place, she said. Naruto rolled his eyes as he reached down and picked up a piece of the wooden table that was so small. It was like a toothpick as he flipped it in his mouth. Tsunade reached out to grab him by the collar. A tail slapped away her hand. She pointed towards the door furiously as Naruto walked towards the door calmly, with her hot on his heel. Are you worried about Naruto? Shizune asked as her and Jiraiya head towards the door. Nah, the brat will be fine. I'm worried about Tsunade. Answer me honestly. When was the last time that she trained? Shizune was about to answer, but she stopped. As Jiraiya spoke, while the kid is nowhere near good enough to beat a Sannin, Tsunade is rusty and drunk. Adding on to the fact that Naruto does not pull any punches, Tsunade might be in for a huge bruise of her ego. They stepped out to see Tsunade glaring daggers at him, but Naruto's face was calm, without a trace of emotion. Alright brat, I'll beat you to within an inch of your life, and I'll heal you and do it over again. Just try to land a punch, you old drunk, said Naruto. Tsunade saw right as she moved. As Naruto placed his hand in his pockets, he dodged easily. She lashed out the other hand as Naruto dodged once again. They want you to be Hokage? The village would be invaded and destroyed within a week, Naruto said in a bored tone as he kept on dodging Tsunade punches. Tsunade's anger increased as her hits became more sloppy. You're out of shape, said Naruto. Your form is horrible. Your strikes are so sluggish. He leaped over her leg as she tried to kick his chest, easily blinded by anger. And you're so predictable. As Naruto caught her wrists, Tsunade was shocked. How? Oh, I have no doubt if I tried to do that, if you were at your peak performance, the arm would have been ripped out of its socket. The reason it worked now, the reason I did it, was to show you how pathetic you have become. As he released her hand and started to walk away, he ducked under her punch. As he created a Rasengan and launched forward to slam it in her stomach, but the ball dispersed and blew the two of them back. Naruto picked himself up. Damn it. Jiraiya, you taught this brat the Rasengan, said Tsunade. It is his inheritance, said Tsunade. Memories started to flood Tsunade's mind. Memories that she tried to bear for the years. She couldn't stand up as she dropped to her knees. Shizune rushed to her side. Tsunade tried to force the memories back. As she glanced up to see Naruto walking away, she got to her feet, as she had an idea. Hey brat, how about a wager? He turned towards her. What do you have in mind, he said. If you can master the Rasengan in a week time, I'll come to Konoha, heal your girlfriend, and even become the Hokage. And I'll even throw in this necklace. Shizune's eyes went wide. Tsunade-sama, you can't be serious, said Shizune. But Tsunade simply sent her a glare. Yes, I am. But if you can't get the jutsu down, you and Jiraiya return back to Konoha and end your career as a ninja, and let Jiraiya seal away the Kyuubi chakra permanently. The tension was thick as everyone waited for his answer. Sure, he said, as he started to walk away. So it's a bet, she said. Yeah, it's a bet, said Naruto. Without even turning, he walked towards the hotel. Time skip. Damn it, said Naruto. As the Rasengan disappeared once again. Kid, why aren't you using shadow clones? The two clones I sent off almost ran out of chakra a few days ago, so I keep on feeding them chakra to prevent them from dispelling. Create new clones would break my concentration on feeding the other two, said Naruto. Then how can you work on your Rasengan and feed chakra to your clones at the same time, Jiraiya asked. With a lot of focus, said Naruto. As he starts to hold the balloon once again, it started to grow bumps before it popped in his palm. It was then that the two women arrived at the door. Ah, what bring you two beautiful lady towards our hotel, said Jiraiya with a smirk, wiggling his eyebrow a bit. Jiraiya, I may be a bit rusty. As Naruto scoffed at that, causing her eye to twitch. But I will still launch your ass to another city, she said. Shizune walked over as the two bickered a bit. Why did you agree to the deal? I mean, it's way far from even. What could you possibly have in Konoha that is so important to you that you would agree to that? I can't explain it, nor will I try to. Besides, the old crone got hustled. I mastered the Rasengan in my right hand the day before I got here. The jutsu got messed up because I was trying to do it with my left. So why don't you show her that you know it? Asked Shizune. I'll show her when it mastered in both hands. That way she cannot try to muster out of the bet. As Naruto turned towards her fully. You're going to tell her, aren't you? No, said Shizune. Tsunade-sama need to return to Konoha, and I miss home as well. Naruto opened his mouth to say something, but a crash could be heard as they turned to see a gaping hole in the wall. Tsunade still had her fist outstretched as she mumbled something to herself. "Shizune, come on, we're heading back to our hotel room." "Good luck, kid," she said. "You're gonna need it." Shizune gave Naruto a quick goodbye as she rushed out to catch up with her mentor. As two clones appeared through the hole a second later, as one of them tossed him a scroll. "How did they go?" said Naruto. "The thing is broken beyond normal repair," one of the clones said. "It will take an entire point to fix it," the other clone said. The two of them dispersed as Naruto created 20 more clones. 10 of you work on creating Rasengan on your left hand. The other 10 work on creating Rasengan while sticking on the surface. "I have something else to work on," said Naruto, as he left and made his way towards the forest. 6 days later, Shizune woke up as she was on a bed. As all the memories came back while she was on the bed in the first place, she instantly got up as she rushed towards the window, but her leg was caught by a chocolate tail, preventing her from stepping on Naruto, who was under the sheets. "Naruto," she said, as Naruto's eyes shot open. "What?" he said. "We have to go. Tsunade-sama is about to make a great mistake." "What, sleep with Jiraiya?" said Naruto. Shizune blushed at the vulgar comment, but she moved towards the window. Just as she was about to leave, Akuna whipped past her embedded in the wall, as she looked to see Jiraiya in a pitiful state. "Damn it, Tsunade," said Jiraiya. "Jiraiya-sama, we must hurry." "Wait, can you do something about the jug in my system?" She placed her hands on his chest as they glowed green. She pulled them back as a strange purple substance came out. "That is all I can do for now. I don't have time to make an antidote," she said. Meanwhile, "Tsunade, have you made your decision?" "Yes, I have. I'll heal your arms if you give me your word not to attack Konoha." My, what caused this change of heart, Tsunade?" asked Orochimaru, with a smirk on his face. "Never mind that, just promise. You will leave Konoha in peace after I heal you," she said. "Fine, you have my word. I will not attack Konoha once my arms are healed." Tsunade nodded as her hands started to glow. Just as the both of them were inches away, she had to jump away from him, as Kunai landed where she once was. "What is the meaning of this? Am I to understand that you came here to betray me?" Orochimaru said, looking at Tsunade as Kabuto landed behind the snake Sanin, looking towards Tsunade. "Tsunade!" Orochimaru shouted. But she didn't say anything. "So that is your answer. After all I offer you, you still chose to kill me." "Fortunately, I can depend on Kabuto's loyalty. Good thing he arrived in time to see the evil behind your technique. She and I are both from the medical corps, so I can instantly tell that she was charging her chakra for an attack. And I was going to bring your loved ones back. And I was even going to leave the village. I knew your promise was empty. Those words left your lips," said Tsunade. "And even if you brought them back, even if I could have seen them, just for a moment, I would have never been able to live with the looks of disappointment that they would have given me for making a deal with a traitor like you." "I see. Then it seems I have no other choice but to force you to heal my arms." Tsunade flashed forward. Orochimaru leaped away as her fist decimated the area. When the dust cleared, she ripped her arm out to the ground. "Try me," she said. A few minutes later, the Konoha Shinobis landed. As they felt the tremors, they moved off. They arrived to see Tsunade in the scene as she was on her knees. Kabuto stood in front of her. Upon closer inspection, she had blood splattered all over her face and was trembling violently. "Orochimaru, what brings you here?" asked Jiraiya as he stepped forward, as sweat was running down his forehead, and he was panting a bit. "Oh, I came to visit Tsunade-chan," Orochimaru said, as his breath was labored, as he was breathing in and out a bit ruggishly, and not to mention the blood was seeping from under his bandage. "I'm hurt," said Jiraiya. "Here I thought you and I were best friends, but you never once came to visit me." "Well, you're always so busy," Jiraiya said. Orochimaru. "Kabuto, be a dear, and keep the others company while Jiraiya and I catch up." Kabuto moved forward only for him to be sliced into 2 pieces. Luckily, he had substituted with a log at the last moment. That would have hurt," he said, as he turned and looked towards Naruto. "I know I should have just killed you in the exam," said Naruto. "Allow me to rectify my mistake." "Naruto, while I have no doubt that you can handle any Chuunin, and even a low-level Jonin, I am on par with your village elites, like Kakashi Hatake and Might Guy." As a blue glow encased his hands, Well then, we'll just see about that, said Naruto. Wind style, great wind breakthrough! Kabuto was launched back. Before he could recover, Naruto kicked him in the air and appeared above him. Rasengan! As Naruto's hand burst through Kabuto as his butt turned to mud. The real Kabuto was behind the boulder. Ah, you learned a new jutsu. As Naruto landed and rocked forward towards him, turning the boulder into dust. Kabuto leaped away as Naruto Rasengan decimated the ground. Kabuto, watch. I apologize, Naruto, and it seems I underestimated you a bit too much. I apologize too. I vastly overestimate your skills, said Naruto. This will not be interesting. Kabuto smirked at that. Well then, he said, let us put it to a test, shall we? As he shot forward. The moment he was close enough, a tail shot out to pierce through his chest. But Kabuto twisted out of the way as he lashed out at Naruto's shoulder. But another tail came and tried to slice his arm clean off. Kabuto had to flip as Naruto jumped and delivered a brutal kick, but Kabuto slipped right underneath it as he dropped flat down to the ground. As Naruto's feet came down, he rolled his head out of the way as Naruto cracked the earth. Interesting. The Kyuubi make up for any hole in your taijutsu. It's almost impossible to touch you, Kabuto said. This fight ends now, said Naruto, as he tapped his chest. A massive Zanbedo, or what was left of one, appeared. The blade itself was rusted, as dirt, and rust was covered on some part of it. The only part that seemed to be perfect was the hilt. You're joking, right? That piece of scrap metal could not even cut butter, said Kabuto. He laughed, only for him to feel a sharp pain in his side. Kabuto looked down to see a cut that was slowly healing. How? This is not just any blade. This is legendary blade, the head cleaver from the 7 Ninja Swordsman. This blade has the ability to take the iron in one's blood and reform itself. The rust fell off the blade and dirt as well, as the inch of the blade seemed to grow out a bit. By the end of this fight, you will see it at its fullest, he said. Once again, Naruto was gone. Kabuto winced as he was sliced on the shoulder. It was a slice made for his chest, but he had moved at the last moment. He growled as he was sliced across the back. His frustration was growing and growing and growing. As he could not touch Blonde, he pulled out 2 kunai as he had to stay calm. Getting too worked up right now would get him killed. He brought the kunai up as he blocked a strike that would have sliced his head clean open. You're fast, but you're not very skilled with that blade, said Kabuto as he turned and kicked Naruto in the chest. Well, he didn't even touch Naruto because the tail stopped it. As Naruto looked at him, I'm good enough to stain your blood all over the place though, said Naruto. He faded from sight again. Kabuto smirked as he saw him. He ducked under a horizontal slash. Flipping back as he saw Naruto, he blocked it with his kunai. He used the giant sword as leverage and brought his foot around. He slammed his heel in Naruto's face. Boom. Naruto's body went up in smoke. A clone? Gotcha. The voice said in his ear. Kabuto was frightened as he heard that voice. He turned only for Naruto to slice across his chest. He cried out in pain as he staggered back. The blade started to heal even more, as it now had holes, circles in it, and the metal was getting more and more polished and neat, and more sharp. As Naruto moved, Kabuto brought up his kunai, but the blade of the kunai was sliced clean off. As the blade dropped into his shoulder, Kabuto cried out in pain. The blade was reformed back to its fullest as Naruto started to bring it down. Kabuto cried as he started to tear into his shoulder blade. Naruto grabbed the hilt and pulled it backwards. Kabuto cried as blood splattered everywhere. Beautiful, isn't she? Said Naruto. The blade had cut all the way in his collarbone and cut into his chest. The edge of the blade was shining brightly in the sunlight. I told you that it was done, said Naruto, as he raised the blade, as the sun glistened off of it. Time to die as he brought it down. But then something happened. But guys, to be installed right here. If you want to see next parts and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications to stay posted. But I'm off and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.